My director is asking me, have you used this word in Standard 1? I mean, this one is tricky for sure, Willis. And is it said, how is it said? Schadenfreude, Schadenfreude? How do we go about it?
Well, Malika Kazia, if you can remember last week, our sister, that is Grace Kuria, had also a problem with this word, but she made it finally. So we had to take it to the streets for our dear brothers and sisters in the country also to try. It's a mouthful, a very tricky word. In fact, the word is from German, and it means a feeling of pleasure at the bad things that happen to other people, and the pronunciation is Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. If you like, you can say Schadenfreude. But Schadenfreude is also acceptable. And sometimes, some of these words which are not commonly used locally, you would find them very tricky for anybody. The reason why I always tell people, nobody is perfect. Not even Willis, that is myself. Malika.
Schadenfreude it is. Thank you for your guidance on that one, Willis. And, we want to move on to our collection of the week. We've got lots of words we want you to help us with. And the first one is actually moratorium, temporary stopping of something. So some people might say moratorium. Do you pronounce the A? There's a little bit of, discrepancy in that. What do you say?
Malika, first and foremost, I have just to begin on collections of the week by telling you your image, and that command of English is just telling me more about the KTN team. You see, it's just that tough team. You give them this, they put you, or they take you to that very place where you belong. Even with the whole technical team, if you can watch it from outside here, you would feel like giving them a big salute. Keep it up. Now, the way you said it is the way to pronounce that word, that is moratorium. Like you can say a 1-year moratorium on fishing activities on the lake.
Okay, thank you so much for those comments earlier. That's very sweet of you. Our next word, and I honestly would be very scared if I came across this creature in real life, a large spider, mostly living in hot countries, and it would give me quite a scare, and I'm sure a lot of people as well. Is it said tarantula, tarantula? How does that one go?
Oh, Malika, many people find themselves saying tarantula because of what our eyes see. That is the spelling of that word or the letter sequence. But please, this word, the second T takes the sound ch, not t. So you also don't use the glide. You say tarantula, tarantula, not tarantula, not tarantula. It's tarantula.
Tarantula, got it. And moving away from this, talk of spiders, let's go to somewhere nice, a piece of land, where grapes are grown to produce wine that a lot of people do favor. Is it said vineyard or vineyard?
You pronounce that word the second way. The way you said it for the second time, that is vineyard, not vineyard. Many people find themselves saying vine because of V-I-N-E in that word. Now you say vineyard, not vineyard. But we have the word vine, and we also have yard. Now, just like the word vinegar, you don't say vinegar, you say vinegar. So the word which we have here is vineyard, not vineyard.
All right, thank you for that, Willis. And the next one, it's quite a technical term. It wouldn't be out of place in any English class. Maybe I'll just spell this one out for you. Oxymoron.
Oh, I believe you're talking about, a word. It's a technical term that means a phrase that combines two words that seem to be the opposite of each other. Now, the way you've spelled it, now the pronunciation is tricky. Literature teachers or teachers of English are always used to this word. It's a technical term, and you say oxymoron. Oxymoron. Many people say oxymoron, but you say oxymoron. Oxymoron. Just like you say excellent, not excellent. Excellent, oxymoron. Now you can talk of deafening silence. You see, deafening is like the opposite of what, or that word silence. So when somebody talks about deafening silence, technically we can call that oxymoron. That is a phrase that combines two words that seem to be the opposite of each other, Malika.
Oxymoron, yes, that one. Now, let's move to the next word. And this one, it's something that cannot be refuted. So this one is a little bit tricky. Is it irrefutable or irrefutable? Again, there are quite a few different ways that people like to say this, irrefutable.
You are right. Now, first, we have the verb refute, to refute. Then we have the adjective refutable. Then the other adjective where we have the prefix ir, you now say irrefutable, not irrefutable the way many people say locally. But as I always say, pronouncing some English words, they may be common words, but they are tricky because sometimes you have to know that is the phonology of English itself as a language. That is the sound system. So some of these words, just like you must have heard, Malika, some people talking of delivery, to deliver, instead of to deliver and delivery. Then here we have refute, refutable, but the word you have is irrefutable. We don't say irrefutable, Malika.
Irrefutable. And our next word, it's an adjective that means needing a lot of strength, also a lot of determination or effort. So I believe this one may be also said in a couple of ways. Is it Herculean or Herculean? Because of that, the final L-E-A-N.
Final part. Yes. Now, we talk of Herculean task. Herculean. We have Q, then we have the stress lean, Lee. Herculean. Now, it's that adjective that you can use when you say campaigning for a top political seat is a Herculean task. Now we have the stress on Lee. We don't have the stress on Q, and we don't have the stress on her. Herculean task. Malika.
Herculean. Yes, definitely. Vying for a political seat would take that much effort for sure. The next one, and that is it basically, a lot of Americans do use it for the word car, and that is it automobile, automobile?
Oh, tricky. Now, you remember we've just handled, or the word you asked me about, vineyard, that some people would find themselves saying vineyard because of vine and yard. Now, this one also has a problem. In fact, it's a noun, and in fact, to be frank with you, this word is from French, and in fact, it's commonly used, the way you said correctly, that it's commonly used in American English to mean a car. Now, auto is just auto, but don't say mobile. Mobile, no, in this word you say automobile, the way you said it in the first place, automobile. So those who say automobile because of the word mobile, just avoid that. You can say novice, we have the word vice, but don't say novice because of novice. You can't say the word slaughter, we have slaughter, but we have also laughter. You can't say slaughter because of laughter, you say laughter, but the other word is slaughter. So this is where we have the irregularities in English spelling and pronunciation. The pronunciation of that word is automobile. Malika.
Okay, and in fact, Willis, our last word on the collection of the week, it means necessary in a particular situation. So a couple of ways some people do say it. Is it requisite? Requisite. Some people might even just say requisite instead. That's the last word in our collection of the week for you to tell us about, Willis.
I sometimes say something, Malika, because there is something we call SLA, that is Second Language Acquisition. It has so many components or elements which are very, very important for somebody, but it is where we have a problem, because to acquire second language properly, especially on matters of sounds, in fact, we could do better if education systems in the world laid more emphasis with accurate information on English pronunciation, just like grammar and vocabulary. But the situation being what it is, we have always to learn and read beyond what we know. And sometimes when you can understand what we call International Phonetic Alphabet, IPA, those are those symbols which are used to represent sounds, like in the pronunciation guides in good dictionaries, it can really help us, especially in careers of serious communication. Now, you'll find that this word, many people say, the way you just explained it, requisite, 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 and all that, please, you say requisite, requisite. That is, you can talk of the requisite experience for a job, requisite. That is what is required in a particular situation. Now, this one reminds me about so many things, but Malika, I've not given you enough because I've just remembered something. When I listen to the English from your mouth, it reminds me about KTN business. That is where sometimes when I hear of, Malika Kazia, I listen to Abiagina, I listen to Kip Kemboi, the flow of English makes things to be very clear, articulate, and sometimes what I would call intelligible delivery of intended messages. So a pat on the back for that team as we carry on. Anything else from you?
Thank you so much, Willis. I'm sure our entire business team is very, very glad to have that stamp of approval for sure, because some of these business terms can be heavy. So we do strive to do our best. But I'll hand it over to you, of course. You have more feedback for us, any more insights, and I'll let you keep this class going.
Great. Now, we go straight to feedback, and we have Laura Wafula of Kakamega. This name, many people find themselves saying Laura. We don't say Laura. That is the spelling, or what we see in terms of the letter sequence, but you say Laura. Laura Wafula of Kakamega, you say vehicle. But the adjective is not now vehicular. You say vehicular, vehicular. Vehicle, vehicular. Ahmed Abdi Malim of Garissa Town, you say diet, and then your second word is dietetics. Tetics. We have the stress on te. Dietetics. Now, Vincent Koech and Felix Samburmo, that name Felix, many people say Felix. So I'll say Felix because many people will be comfortable with that locally. So Felix Samburmo and Vincent Koech of Kisi Law Courts, the first word, mischievous. I don't know where people got mischievous. There is nothing like that in the English vocabulary. We don't have mischievous. It's mischievous, mischievous. And we also say grievous, not grievous. It doesn't exist at all in the English vocabulary. You just say mischievous, grievous. Then your second word is fatuous, fatuous. Alex Madenge of Nairobi, you say existential. Tricky, existential, just like existential crisis, existential. Coletta Njoki Njoroge of Nyeri. Oh, this one, I know it's a funny one, which even the technical team in Nairobi may find themselves laughing their ribs sick, because somebody is asking me here, Coletta Njoki Njoroge of Nyeri, you don't say 2020, 2020, Duendi, no, please just avoid that. Such kind of pronunciation in certain regions, like in American English, it's the result of dialectal influence or first language influence. Just like in my community, as Willis Ochieng, sometimes when you check what we call the phonemes of Luo language, we don't have the sound sh. So if you tell some people to say shop, you may hear sop. If you say, can you please tell us show, somebody may say so, or sharp shooter may come out as sap suitor. That is first language influence. But in this case, 2020, you may hear it from America, Canada, or other places. You may also hear of duendi, but just say 2020. I know even our producer, Mr. Musomba, the great man, must also be laughing his ribs sick. Now, Martha Win of Migori, you say buffet when you're talking about a meal. But when you talk of the verb, you say buffet. Buffet is a meal, but buffet is now the verb. Then the second word, you say secretive. Secretive. Don't say secretive. Secretive. Mwalimu Vidija Dalizu of Eldoret, you say siphon. Don't say siphon. To siphon fuel. Siphon. Then pedophile. Don't say paedophile. Pedophile. Then we have Moha Funky of Wajir or Wajia. You say year. Year. With that consonant sound, ye. Year. Happy New Year. Now you don't say Happy New Year. Happy New Year is like when you talk about sikio, ear, but year is when we talk about mwaka in Kiswahili. Now, the rest here are Edith Chebi Rotich of Eldama Ravine, and we have Alindi Hezi of Rarieda, Siaya County, Annie Ngwende of Kampala, Uganda, Eddie Katana of Kilifi, Sandra Kembi of Meru, and lastly, Ida Rogers Kamba of Kigali, Rwanda. We also tell you thank you so much. Just keep it KTN always, and you'll get all these. Now, straight away to the surprise word for tonight. The surprise word for tonight, in fact, this word, you would be shocked. The man I always praise, our cameraman, that is Nicholas Mburu, just asked me the other day, Willis, how do we pronounce this word? Because I hear so many versions. So Mburu, and all our dear viewers, please, this word, first of all, it's from Spanish or also from Latin. Please, you say janta, janta. Remember, you can also say junta. That is another acceptable alternative, and you can also say junta. So janta, junta, and junta are three alternative pronunciations of this word, and it means a military government that has taken power by force. A military government that has taken power by force. Janta, junta, or junta. Junta is commonly used in American English. Now, we come to confusing words, commonly confusing locally. The upper word is agent, an agent, a representative. The lower one is urgent. It's an urgent matter, urgent. Agent, urgent. Then below we have agency, an agency. Don't say an agency for this one, but we have urgency as a matter of urgency. What we call the long mid-central sound urgency. Agency, urgency. Now, you have to get them right, especially in careers of serious communication. Now we have the much asked about word. This is the penultimate stage of tonight's show. The much asked about words. Now, you may have heard some people saying, I am an alumni, and all that. As a person, as an individual, you can't say you are an alumni. The word is in plural. Alumni is not a word you can use when you are an individual. That means, you know, we have to start it from up here. And please get it clearly because we are like in class. The first word, alumnus. You can say, I am an alumnus of that college or that school or that university. An alumnus. That is a former male student of a school, college, or university. The plural is alumni. And remember that alumni can be used to mean former male and female students of a school, college, or university. Then alumna is normally the one you use for a former female student of a school, college, or university. Then you say alumni or alumni. That is where we talk about the plural. And then finally, you only get it on KTN. That is the phonetic symbols. When you look at this one, it's like a V upside down. We call it the inverted V. But please, it gives you the sound It is the symbol that represents the sound So you say cut, C-U-T, cut, love, tough, and you have won. Past tense of win is won. Don't say won the way many people find themselves saying. Won. They won the match. Now, all these, you get them every Friday night. Please, the segment is Mind Your Language, and I am Willis Ochieng. You can interact with me throughout the week. That is on Twitter. The handle is at Willis Ochieng 1. I'm taking you back to the precious, elegant, and also thorough lady in Nairobi, that is Malika Kazia.
Fraude.
Thank you so much, Willis. That was Mind Your Language, telling us to make sure we pronounce 2020 absolutely right, of course. And yes, that is the year we're in. A new decade has started. Thank you for joining us on the Friday.